No, more. As soon as I started, it went finished. It's not wrong. Um, thank you all for coming today. We have. I made all attempts to call the police to attend this press conference because this press conference is all about the rule of law. And yesterday I had addressed the social media people on the importance of Section 61 and 62, which forbids the bribery of members of parliament, and also it forbids members of parliament from soliciting bribes before a question in parliament or any motion or anything of importance. And also we have sorry, I'll take this call first. Sorry. Yeah. So basically, what the People's Anti-Corruption Movement is doing is to restore the rule of law, and with respect to what the police are doing, and what the Ombudsman Commission are doing, ICAC, Office of the Public Prosecutor, Department of Attorney General, and all government departments. It is our duty to uphold the rule of law. But we have seen that law enforcement agencies have been seriously compromised. State institutions like the Ombudsman Commission has been compromised. And Parliament, which is supposed to be transparent and accountable, has become, like I always say, it's become a den of thieves. And I don't want to stress on what happened today on the floor of Parliament after court had ordered a recall of Parliament to debate the motion of no confidence on the floor of Parliament. And you have seen the Speaker abuse his authority again in gagging debate, in ensuring that there was no debate on this particular motion and the importance of that court decision. He proceeded to allow voting, and that is Parliament that have gone ahead with the business of the day in electing the Prime Minister to remain in office. What we want the public to know is that the People's Anti-Corruption Movement has launched an official complaint with the Police Crimes Division, the Assistant Commissioner at the Auditor's Office, against the Prime Minister, who has resorted to bribing members of Parliament in the August session, when there was a vote of no confidence against him with Rainbow Paita as an alternative candidate for the job of Prime Minister. And the proof is that they had kept almost 18 members of Parliament on the Luluwata Island Resort, treating them to free accommodation, meals and drinks, and entertainment and whatnot. And we believe that also from rumors we have, a lot of money had circulated, and we think it is improper and unlawful practice. And I think we have won them, and this last week they have not camped. And if they were using mobile phones to exchange messages or talk to each other or make gains, that is acceptable. But to actually treat people and bribe people, there's also the electronic system where they can even transfer money online. So we are not disregarding it. But there's been a lot of bribery. And today's voting on the floor of Parliament is only confirmed that Parliament has got no integrity. It's nothing more than a den of thieves. And we have called on the police, as our letter states, my press release states. We have called on the police to arrest the Prime Minister for having bribed members of Parliament under Section 62. And we have also called on the police to investigate and arrest all the members of Parliament who had camped on Luluwata on that day, because the evidence is all there. There's a lot of money was printed out from the Department of Finance to various provincial governments. The governor of Enga was given 60 million kina, as you know, and that was contested in a court of law. And the governor of Enga sided with Marape in the August voting because of the 60 million kina factor. Whether he had asked for the 60 million or not is something that only the court will establish. And whether the Prime Minister intended to bribe him or not is something that only the court can establish. But the very fact that the transaction did take place, meaning that they had allocated a warrant of 60 million kina, which was unbudgeted, and it was, fortunately or unfortunately, the governor of government contested that in a court of law, and the judge had ruled that this was misappropriation, and declared that that be null and void, and the warrant was not released to the Enga provincial government. But there was a shining example of that. Other than that, we have seen Luther Wenge act like a schoolboy, come out and stood in front of a dummy check for 50 million kina IDG grants, and from what we are told, it was increased to 100 million. And earlier in March, he was out in the media saying that he challenged the Prime Minister for the Pangu Party leadership. And he was bribed by Marape and giving these IDG grants that were not even budgeted, not planned. This was a classical example of Marape resorting to bribe using public monies. We're not talking about private monies. Also, Governor Paul Spakov had accepted 30 million kina when there was rumors that Paul Spakov would be an alternate candidate for alternate Prime Minister. In 2023, the Prime Minister directed the Ombudsman Commission, Richard Pagan and Kevin Klepore, to blackmail Paul Spakov by writing to him to account for the 45 million kina it paid into USPNG or US Limited, a company owned by Fazila Bazari, which is not part of the Commission's mission to objective to clean and green the city. Yoga is not in the Commission's business. It should be belong to the Sports Commission. But they had used that to blackmail Paus to stick with the Marape. And later, when they found the time was running out on them, they had allocated 30 million kina from the planning department to Paul Spakov and his party members. And that money apparently was given to a private company called Asia Pacific PNG Limited, owned by a man called Sangaran Subramaniam. He had proposed to build a hospital down at Idubara Tech, and I think I went down there. I went to his office. I told him to explain how we got title to the customary land on the complaint of the landowners in Anubara. And I think the court have stopped it. And even last week I went down there and stopped him developing the other side, because I said, this is customary land. You're not supposed to. And the company that was doing that was a company called Phoenix, and that company is associated with a big contracts to the NCDC. So there's been a massive bribe. Now, what makes it interesting is that on top of the 30 million kina allocated to PNG Asia Pacific Limited, the province also bargained for the allocation of title to PNG Asia Pacific PNG Limited for portion, I forgot the portion number, I lost my phone, but there's a huge portion of land at tether settlement that they have given to that company to develop into hospital. And we've seen what has happened to Duran Farm. And this was approved in cabinet by Marape. It was previously approved by O'Neill, but in the August session, before the vote of no confidence, Paul said his way, he solicited bribes by getting 30 million and a huge portion of land in favor of the foreigner, Asia Pacific Limited. And he even stood at the lands board to secure the transfer of title from to Asia Pacific Limited. So there's instances of bribery are so many. If you go to the Department of Finance, they were just writing checks of 10 million, 20 million to all the members of Parliament. So our complaint is based on law, Section 61 and 62. We filed it at the Commissioner's office. We have got a case number there, and we expect the Assistant Commissioner of Crimes to attend to our complaint and to act on our complaint and to bring in the Prime Minister and question him, including all those members that have accepted bribes from the Prime Minister. All this was whether the checks were paid from Gaming Board, whether the checks were paid from National Planning, or the Finance Department, or the Department of Works, We have seen. We have also seen the scheme, and how that scheme works. Out of the so-called PNG Connect program, most of that money was spent in provinces, only 2 provinces, Hela and Southern Islands. The lion's share of the money was spent in those 2 provinces. The lion's share of the PNG Connect program went to a company called Ibwen's Construction. Ibwen's Construction is owned by a guy called Moses Malipe. But Moses Malipe is said to be a cousin of the Prime Minister. And Moses Malipe and James Marape are shareholders, directors of another company called Kupa Limited. So we can put one and one together. Ibwen's Construction had collected 750 million paid out to the company between February 2023 and April 2024. I've got all the records there. I've got all the records that the printout was presented in Parliament by a whistleblower, and we've got that. Now, I have a very strong feeling that the Prime Minister investigated. They should do forensics on the Ibwen's accounts to see where all the money trail went. It would have ended up with the Prime Minister paying bribes to members of Parliament. And I have no fear in saying that. I am very confident of what I'm saying. I know the Ombudsman Commission is incapable of doing that because they're scared of being fired by the Prime Minister and the government. The ICAC are not going to do that. You've seen that in 5 years they just can't even get off the ground. They have not prosecuted one single case. They have not cited any case. And likewise, the Police Commissioner. As you can see, I have 2 summonses here registered against David Manning. One for failing to process the Prime Minister according to law in the case of the Paraga scandal, financial scandal, which has sent Marape to prison for 20 years. And Marape has been spared as a state witness, which we don't accept, because he had coerced and placed a lot of undue influence on the secretary to make payment, and it's before the courts. And I don't want to see this making extrajudicial comments, but the court will process it. But we have taken action against Manning. We have also taken another summons here against Manning for his rape of Flora Maso. We have done that as a civil society organization because if you will recall, Manning had created an unlawful sensitive investigation board, which is unlawful to begin with. It can be enforced because Section 14 of the Police Force Act clarifies or defines his powers and doesn't give him any additional powers to create any board. He had deliberately done that to suppress the investigation by police on the complaint of Masor, who had filed a I've got a copy of a statement here. She had filed it in February. Masor had filed a statement addressed to Assistant Commissioner Donald Yamasombi in February 2nd of January 2024, and in stating that Manning had raped her in Kimbe while I was there, and because this was addressed to Donald Yamasombi as Deputy Commissioner of Police, Manning had reacted by creating an unlawful special investigation board to suppress any police action that is not approved by himself. Now that is unlawful, and we call on Manning to resign with James Marape. Unfortunately, James Marape has not resigned yesterday, and you have seen on the floor of Parliament that 98 members of Parliament are willing to die with him, and you can understand why they're willing to die with him. They have been totally bribed by Prime Minister Marape, and we will take this matter up in court. We are now calling on the police to formally arrest and charge Marape. Now, if they don't, I've also said in my press statement there, I think the People's Army, the military, should take responsibility in restoring the rule of law because the police are totally compromised, and that sticks there. I will not go further in calling for people power. People will naturally react to the situation. There's a lot of discontentment. Country is not going as it should. There's a lot of law and order issues. The economy is plunged to its bottom. And you have a very stubborn prime minister who's defending himself because of all the fraud that they have committed. I have also reported to the international media. I've called on Interpol. I've called on Interpol to arrest and charge Marape for fraud and embezzlement of public finances through the PNG Connect program. And not only that, I've also got we've got a court action, OS number 8 of 2023, which was mentioned in court 3 times last year. And I wrote to the Chief Justice to allocate a judge so that they can be they can stand before the court and show cause as to why he has not been able to account for all public monies in his term as Minister of Finance and Prime Minister, which is put 12 years. And that you're talking about anything between 300 to 400 billion of public funds that has not been accounted for. So all in all, I'm appealing to the police to arrest the Prime Minister as soon as practicable, because he's the one that criminal for defrauding the state. And thank you for coming with me today. I know the media are scared of coming because they're scared of their jobs, but that's all right. We'll understand that. We are on social media. The world is following us. Media freedom has been suppressed in this country, and we know that it's never worked, and that is why there's been a decline in the rule of law. If you go to a country where there's no media freedom, everything's going to go haywire, and we have seen that all unfold today. We were not surprised that the Marape would debate the vote of no confidence, because there's been a lot of bribery going on behind the scenes. And I think the records at the Treasury and Finance and the Works Department, you have seen what he's capable of doing. He's given one particular member of parliament called member for Ungai Pena, Fio Kinoka. Fio Kinoka owns a company called Too Good Construction, and that construction company was given a contract for 340 million signed at government now. So police should now do their job in arresting Marape and arresting Commissioner Manning, who's protecting him, and arresting these members of parliament who have taken bribes from the Prime Minister. And that is as simple as that. We are a civil society organization. We don't waste our time talking. I'm calling on the President of Law Society to provide his army of lawyers who keep marching year after year without doing anything to come and attend to our cases. We are not in law school. You've left to law school, and you should be practicing law here by fighting corruption with us. Thank you for coming today, and we hope that the people of Papua New Guinea will dissect the information and decide what to do. As for the police, we tried to get in touch with them. They are not yet at the press conference, and it doesn't matter because the report or the complaint is filed at the Assistant Commissioner's office, and copies have been given to the ICAC chairman, ICAC office, and Ombudsman Commission, and also a copy has been given to the Commissioner's office and the NCD Metropolitan Assistant Commissioner, NCD and Central Province, Superintendent Benturi. So with that, I thank you all for coming, and I hope that the police will do the right thing in upholding the Constitution by performing the duty and applying for a warrant of arrest of the Prime Minister and the members of Parliament that solicited bribes, and the Prime Minister for authorizing bribes using private and public funds. Thank you for coming with me today. John Endemongo Legacy, People's Anti-Corruption Movement, and people around Papua New Guinea should now sign up with us for the love of your country. You should become a financial member of the People's Anti-Corruption Movement, like Josephine here and H here. We are all for the restoration of the rule of law. Yeah. Thank you. Yep, that's short. Is there anything else we need to say?
No,